And it's interesting because I don't actually refer to this as exercise because it's, I hate to admit this, but it's not like I'm out here, lifting weights and doing Zumba classes and sweating up a storm. My walks are 5 a.m. when it's usually still dark outside. I don't use music, so I don't have on any headsets. I'm not listening to a book. My walks are almost meditative in and of themselves because they give me time to just kind of wake up and be present with myself. And then I meditate. And those two things for me give me the time I need to really think about my intentions for that day, how I align my behaviors and my interactions with those things that are important to me. When I don't do it, when I don't have my morning walk or my morning meditation, good for maybe 2 or 3 days. But by day 4 or 5, and I haven't done those things, I'm absolutely on autopilot, right? Well, the strategies for me are to intentionally take the time out to stop and do it and to ask yourself challenging questions, right? To challenge your own thought processes. Ask yourself, well, why do I believe that? Or why am I aiming for that? Like, really ask yourself intentional questions and challenge your own status quo. Be able to listen when other people are talking or making decisions and trying to think about who they want to be, who they have told you they want to be, and help them stay in that space. Is that
Thank you. Thank you.
that's the example?
Yes, yes, that's great. That's great. And you're the actually the second person I've interviewed this week that's talked about meditation and the importance of that in their lives.
Yeah. Yeah. It makes a big difference for me. And again, I can maintain if I don't do it, but after a few, I know I haven't done it.
Well, and it sounds like this process helps you with shifts. And I'm going to lead into your book, The Shift. And yeah, as we did our prep meeting, we talked about organizational shifts, but then I also know you're doing some work on some individual type shifts too. But let's start with your book. And what was you've alluded to it some, but really, what made you say, okay, let me just jump in here and develop this framework, the shift framework?
Yeah. So I shared kind of where I was at that moment in time and working as a chief diversity officer and having a colleague, really multiple colleagues actually ask, how do you do this work? And truth be told, I had been using this approach in my own personal life and in my professional life with teams for decades. Never took the time to really analyze it and map it out so that others could use it. So I did take the time to sit down and really analyze, how do I do this work? What is my approach? And what are the philosophies behind it? What's some of the research behind it? And on research, I want to say this too, because it addresses this question. One of the things that I've noticed, and my dissertation research really showed this, is that one of the things that's happened for leaders in the last several years is that leaders have moved from being strategic to being more tactical, with really a strong emphasis on day to day operations, quarterly results, and I'll say putting out fires. So, whereas leaders used to take time to, as a leadership team, talk about their why, not just the what, but the why they do the things they do and what they're trying to create from kind of a bigger picture. The focus has really shifted to the how, and it's become very tactical. And that's taken the time and the intentionality away from organizations understanding why they exist, who they're trying to serve, the way in which they want to serve them, the way in which they want their organizations to exist and to feel for people. And I think that's been unfortunate. And one of the things that I was able to do in the book was really talk about what, as leaders, where you need to start as leaders to determine why your organization exists. Not from the standpoint of just, well, we create widgets, right? But why is that important for the world? Why are you there? And how do you want to function in that space? Not just how much money are you trying to earn or how many employees do you need to have, but what do you want your employees to feel? How do you want your employees to interact and engage with one another? How do you want them to interact and engage with their clients? So this framework allowed me to work through all of those things. So I did. I unpacked the approach I had been using, looked at the philosophy, looked at the research behind it, and was able to put together, I think, a very detailed roadmap for leaders to use to figure out how to shift their culture from where it may be, and oftentimes haphazardly and unintentionally where it is, to where they intentionally want it to be. Because here's the interesting thing about organizational culture: if it exists, right? Whether you intended to create something or not, organizational cultures exist.